Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Have you ever been faced with what appeared to be an insurmountable problem, and you silently wished that you could turn it over to somebody else for a solution? Or have you ever sat daydreaming, building magnificent images on the screen of your mind, wishing you had a certain sum of money, wanting to take a trip to some exotic place? Or possibly hoping to be able to purchase the vehicle that you always wanted? Wouldn't it be fantastic if there was some magic formula that would give us the things we want and permit us to live the way we choose? Well, there is. I'm reading from Bob Proctor's book, You Were Born Rich, and he tells us to let go and let God because something wonderful is happening. Have you ever heard that expression before? Let go and let God? You can have all the things you want, all of them, and you will have them if you will only make the ideas that he teaches part of your way of thinking, part of your way of life. Now, Bob Proctor passed away over 2 years ago, but I loved the man. He was my mentor. I loved the way he taught. He talked about the laws of the universe. And whether you believe in God or you have a scientific brain and you talk about energy, just know that there is a higher power. There is a power that you can tap into, that you can quiet your mind, be still, and know that there is something bigger than you that is orchestrating the entire universe. Speaking of orchestration, have you ever gone to a concert or watched a movie and you see an orchestra and you can see the section of woodwinds, you see the trumpets, the saxophone, the alto sax, you see maybe there's guitars, there's a bass guitar, there's an acoustic guitar, an electric guitar, there's different kinds of drums, there's flutes. Each one plays its part. Each one plays a certain melody. And when they all get into harmony, there is a beautiful piece of music. It could be scary. It could cause you to jump like in a horror movie. It could be beautiful and calming like a Brahms lullaby. The point is, you can't just hear the flute or the trumpet or the drum or the alto sax. They all have to play together in order for the music to touch your heart and to take you away and to affect you, to vibrate throughout your body. And when all the music is in harmony, in resonance, it's something really magical. Well, that's how life works. Every person and everything is energy, and everything has to work together in order for you to live your life. And if you want to live your life differently, there has to be different pieces that are played, different parts that come together. But make no mistake about it, you can't do it by yourself. This is a universe that everyone and everything is connected. No person, thing, or circumstance will ever intimidate you again when you start to realize that everything is connected and there is a higher power, and you can give up your problems to that higher power. Just spend some time in quiet solitude, thinking about what you really want, and all the pieces will come together, just like the instruments in an orchestra or the pieces of a puzzle. You don't have to wish and hope. Happiness, health, and prosperity will follow you all the days of your life, and you will spend the rest of your years wanting to share your new understanding with everyone who is willing to take the time to listen and learn. Be aware, however, that many of the people whom you try to share your new awareness with are simply not ready for it. In fact, 9 out of 10 people will laugh and tell you you're crazy. Let go and let God. When you tell them that you're giving up your struggles to the universe, they'll think you lost your mind, because we've been programmed to work hard, to grind it out, to earn every nickel. The vast majority of people that you encounter every day treat God like a cosmic bellboy who is supposed to run and fetch and deliver. People believe that merely because a person verbalizes certain things in their mind, God, get me this, please give me that, they will receive what they have asked for. But unfortunately, these people do not understand the true nature of prayer. And what's even more tragic, they don't even know that they don't know. Bob Proctor says, potential is everywhere, always. Understand this. Everything you see in this universe, including yourself, is nothing but the expression of an infinite power. This power is forever flowing to and through you. Scientists will tell you that everything is energy. Bob Proctor chooses to say that everything is spirit. For centuries, there has been a select group of people who are the real thinkers. These individuals have always known there is a power which permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the cosmos. And everything you see around you is an expression of that power. The power operates in a very precise manner, which is generally called law. In other words, everything comes from one source, and that source power always flows and works to and through the individual. That's you. Stated slightly differently, the image that you have formed can only come to you on the physical plane of life to become your results in one way, and that is by law and through faith. The Mormon religion has a scripture in its Doctrine and Covenants which demonstrates this point extremely well. Bob Proctor was not Mormon, but he loved these lines. There is a law irrevocably decreed in heaven before the foundations of this world, upon which all blessings are predicated. And when we obtain any blessing from God, it is by obedience to that law upon which it is predicated. The more you study this scripture, the more you will appreciate just how perfect it is. The more you understand its truth, the easier it will be for you to improve the quality of your life. he tells a little story about Clarence Smithison. A number of years ago, when Bob Proctor was working in Chicago, Illinois, he became close friends with a man named Clarence Smithison. Since Clarence is not a celebrity by any means, I'm sure you've never heard his name before. In fact, he's such a modest, self-effacing person that if he were to walk into a room crowded with people, you would probably not even notice him. Nevertheless, there is a certain indefinable spark in Clarence, which makes him one of the most remarkable individuals Bob Proctor knew. Clarence Smithson incorporates within his very being the principle upon this chapter, let go and let God. If a person will let go and let God, that is, have faith that whatever must happen for him to achieve his goal will indeed occur, all things become possible. One day, Bob confronted Clarence and asked him to share his view of faith and explain why he personally seemed to possess such a cornucopia of this important attribute. Clarence explained he had not developed a complicated philosophy. He said everything he believed about faith could be summarized in a simple definition, and it was this definition which gave him the strength he needed to endure the trials and tribulations in his own life. Faith is the ability to see the invisible and believe in the incredible. And that's what makes believers, that's what enables believers to receive what the masses think is impossible. Bob Proctor fell in love with that quote and he used it often. Faith is the ability to see the invisible and believe in the incredible. And that's what enables believers to receive what the masses think is impossible. Using a slightly different vocabulary, Bob Proctor would say, if you can show me a person who achieves great things, I can show you a person who has great faith in his God-given ability to achieve what he imagines, what he images. In fact, there is absolutely no question in his mind that faith has always been the miracle worker throughout history. It is the connecting link between God and you, and therefore it is your most valuable non-physical possession. In truth, it is the cornerstone to everything you will ever build or achieve during the course of your entire lifetime. Few people realize just how much faith in oneself, that part of yourself which is perfect, which is spiritual, how much faith has to do with your achievement, because the great majority of people never seem to conceive of faith as being a genuine creative force. Yet the truth is that not only is faith a bona fide power, but it is the greatest one we will ever encounter. In fact, Bob would go so far as to say that whatever you accomplish in your lifetime will be in direct proportion to the intensity and the persistence of your faith. Think about the spiritual energy that is all around you. Think of when you sit quietly and imagine that power flowing into you. You could see a funnel of lavender energy flowing into the crown of your head and swirling all around you. You might envision it as an aura radiating out of each person, but spirit will never move into form or into a physical image without physical assistance. So when people sit back and say, God will look after me, God will do it, they're fooling themselves. It's true that God only helps those who help themselves, but it follows that you must always do your part to start the creative process in motion. You must always build the image and know in your heart the image will materialize. You must come to look upon God as being a great unseen provider who inhabits every fiber of your being. And you must also understand that the instant you form the image in your mind, God will go to work in His perfect way and move you into an entirely new vibration. You will begin to feel differently. So when you think about music, how music can make you feel sadder or happier, scared or joyful, when you start to feel in harmony with the image that you create in your mind, God is really at work. And although you sometimes express your elation by saying you feel enthusiastic, think about this. The word enthusiasm is derived from the Greek word entheos, meaning in God. Are you enthusiastically thinking about what you want to do with your life? What is your purpose? What would you love to bring into physical being? When you have a goal in mind, when you have a target, an end result, a goal that you want to achieve, something you want to accomplish in this lifetime, and it gets you excited when you think about it, then every cell of your being starts to vibrate and it becomes in resonance with things and people in the universe. Doesn't matter where they are in time or space, because God will bring it all together like the orchestra conductor. Everything in resonance, in harmony with the picture that you hold in your mind is brought to you electromagnetically, so that as you take action, the universe shows you a reaction. As you get in harmony with the picture in your mind, you start to take different action. And as you think differently and act differently, you start to build a new life, because the circumstances, the opportunities, the people, the resources show up as you need them. Just like a piece of music is played, the notes have to go in a particular order. If you've ever been to a symphony and listened to the musicians warming up their instruments before they start playing, it's just chaos. It's a cacophony of musical notes. But when they're all brought together in perfect harmony, there's a beautiful piece of music. Your goal, the result you want, the way you want to be living your life will all come together, but you also have to be in harmony, in resonance, feeling what it would be like to be living the life of your dreams. What do you want? What do you really, really want? When that sparks the energy in your heart, when you get a clear picture in your mind and you start to do something toward making that happen, everything else will come into focus. Everything will come in as it's needed. You don't have to worry about the money because it comes when you require it, when you make the decision that you're going to do something that you love, that you can see, that you can feel. It just happens by law. Bob Proctor says your enthusiastic attitude will in turn cause your actions to change, and you will start behaving differently. Moreover, not only will you begin to act differently yourself, but because of the new vibration you're in, you will begin to gravitate toward and to attract to you other like-minded people. Strange and wonderful things will begin to happen to you with such regularity that you will be at a loss to explain or even comprehend what's going on. So you don't have to make it happen. Just understand it's the way of the creative force, or God's way, and accept the good as it comes and expect more of the same in the future. Now, many of the people that you live with, work with, hang out with will be skeptical, and they'll start to say, you're just lucky. But you should just let it go at that. As long as you continue to hold the image in your mind of the good you desire, you will always be rewarded. Just have faith that what should happen must happen, and in the right time, it will happen. Always remember that the image which you keep affirming in your heart or your subconscious mind is being expressed upon spirit, and spirit has the ability to convert your present dreams into your future reality. On the surface, it might appear from time to time that things are not going well, and you might begin to worry that you're moving in the wrong direction. But let me assure you, as long as you keep the image of the good you desire firmly planted in your subconscious mind, you will continue to move in the only direction in which you can move in order to get where you want to go. Don't forget, it's never sufficient to believe in yourself, that part of you which God created in His image, only when you feel particularly enthusiastic or when some particular good fortune has befallen you. It is never adequate to have faith sporadically, to get enthusiastic over what you want and then undermine all of your mental kingdom. It won't do to keep dropping down and getting weaker and more discouraged. Bob Proctor says it won't do to keep dropping down again and again like the frog trying to get out of a well, and it's feeling weaker and more discouraged after each fall. Any person who starts that type of process in motion is letting go of his image of prosperity and is using his creative powers to build the image of poverty instead. Your subconscious mind will show you evidence of what you're thinking, what you believe at a deep subconscious level in your heart of hearts. Bob says, God, being a just God, will always work to bring about your ultimate good, but always bear in mind, it is your innermost thoughts and images you are requesting, not the words to which you might be paying lip service. Therefore, make it a habit to begin and end each day with a declaration of faith in yourself, created after God's image and in His power, whatever you choose to call it. Guard your faith zealously as you would your most precious possession, and ensure that it will never be imperiled by weak, downhearted, and negative thoughts. Dr. Robert Schuller said, tough times never last, but tough people do. So if you find your faith slipping, or you find yourself running low on this great power which accomplishes so many wonderful things, you can do something about it. You can build huge reservoirs of mental power by simply employing a daily autosuggestive technique. Autosuggestion is telling yourself the same thing over and over and over. And then you strengthen the greatest and most necessary of all human attributes, and that's your faith. This is a mental treatment, and you should always go off by yourself and speak out loud to yourself in a firm, decided tone of voice. Verbalize what you're saying just as earnestly as if you were speaking to someone you wanted to impress with great importance of what you were asserting. And when you speak to yourself, begin with your own name. Say your name out loud, and then say, you are a child of God, and being God made was never intended for the sort of weak, negative life you are leading. God made you for success, not failure. You were made to express what you long to express. You have the ability to do what your Creator sent you here to do. Why not do this? Why not stand and walk like a conqueror, like David who slew Goliath, instead of giving way to discouragement and doubt? The image of perfection, the image of your Creator lies within you. You must bring it to the center of your conscious thought and express it to the world. Be the magnificent success that God intended you to be. Now, you don't have to say those words exactly, but the first principle is to relax and see yourself already in possession of the good that you desire. And the second principle is to let go and let God. Do not force it to happen. As you sit quietly thinking about your dream goal and then talking to yourself out loud, demanding that you receive this prosperity, this love, this respect, this way of life, whatever it is that you choose, spend time in your own mind talking about it, thinking about it, writing it down, and most importantly, feeling connected to it. Practice this over the weekend, and I'll see you back here Monday morning at 7. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice.